What's up everyone, how's it going? This is Watch, and in this video I'm going to be discussing my top 15 reasons of why I think you should upgrade to the new Samsung Galaxy S6 if you're an S5 owner, or perhaps if you have an older phone and you want to see how it compares against the older S5. So if you're interested in this video, let's get right into my top 15 reasons. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the improved build and design of the new Samsung Galaxy S6 compared to the S5. It now has a full metal chassis. That's the core structure of the phone, and it looks very sleek, very premium, definitely better than the plasticky material that we found on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Next, even though it has that better build quality, impressively, the new phone is actually thinner at 6.8 millimeters versus the S5's 8.1 millimeters, and it's also quite a bit lighter at 138 grams versus 145 grams on the original S5. Moreover, the new phones are going to be slightly more durable and more scratch resistant because they're using Gorilla Glass 4 technology at the front and back of the phone versus the older S5 used Gorilla Glass 3 at the front of the device. Continuing forward, another major improvement on the new phone is the Quad HD resolution. So that means we have an upgraded PPI count of 577 versus the older 1920 by 1080 S5 had a PPI count of about 432. Additionally, the new screen, even though it's going to be very similar in terms of the Super AMOLED technology, Samsung is saying that they're going to crank up the screen brightness so it's better for outdoor environments. And typically OLED screens, even though they're very good in terms of giving you very vibrant colors and deep blacks, they typically suffer when it comes to high brightness scenarios, but the new phone is going to solve that by pumping out more lumens out of those organic LEDs, resulting in a brighter overall screen that's going to be more versatile, especially in outdoor environments. Another cool thing about the new Samsung Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge is that they're going to actually have a higher screen to body ratio than the S5. For example, the S5 originally had a 69.9% screen to body ratio versus the new standard S6 is going to up that by 70.7 screen to body ratio, and the Edge is going to up that even more to 72% screen to body ratio, giving you the most screen possible on any smartphone out there. Moving right along, the new phones are certainly going to be faster. They're using the new Exynos 7420 chip, which not only are going to give you better single-threaded and multi-threaded performance, but they're going to give you better power efficiency compared to the Snapdragon 801 chip and the older Exynos processor we found on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Furthermore, in terms of multitasking capabilities, we're going to have 3 gigabytes of RAM versus the S5's 2 gigabytes of RAM. Additionally, one of the big improvements on the new phone is its fingerprint scanner. The original Samsung Galaxy S5 had a swipe fingerprint scanner function. So with the new phone, basically you only need to touch it and it'll unlock the phone right then and there, which is really awesome. Very similar to the Touch ID system, because this swipe technology was not that good and it didn't work all the time on the older phone. Continuing forward, the new front-facing camera is going to be significantly improved from the S5. It's going to have a 5 megapixel stills capabilities and a wider field of view because it has a wider lens. This has a 2 megapixel stills capabilities and it's a fairly narrow lens. So if you're interested in taking the best selfies possible, looks like the S6 will have some pretty cool capabilities. Another awesome thing about the new Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge is that they're going to have a better wireless charging support. So we're talking full wireless charging support for Qi, PMA, and WPC standards for wireless charging, which is pretty awesome. Another big thing when it comes to charging is now we have native fast charging support, just like the functionality we've seen in the Note 4. You can easily get up to 50% charge in just 25 to 30 minutes of charge time, which is quite fantastic. Now, furthermore, the rear-facing camera on the Samsung Galaxy S6 is very similar to the S5 in terms of raw specifications and probably overall image quality, but there are some differences. It's going to have a wider aperture at f1.9, so that's going to mean a better low light capabilities, as well as perhaps some shallow depth of field capabilities, as much as you can with a small sensor. And it's going to have optical stabilization, which is very important for getting the smoothest video possible, especially handheld, and getting better low light capabilities as well, because that's definitely going to help in keeping the camera as stable as possible. And it's going to move independently independently of the sensor, so there's huge benefits to the optical stabilization compared to the software-based stabilization system we had on the S5. Now, winding down our list, this is kind of a personal one for me, but I think the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Edition is a really cool looking phone. I love the dual curved edge design look. I think it's going to look really sleek in real life, and I'm going to love swiping back and forth between the edges. And I'm a big fan of that curved display on the Note 4, but it's going to be sweet to have those edges curved on both sides of the phone, which is definitely going to look a lot more symmetrical and make a little bit more sense. And even though I don't think it's going to add too much in terms of functionality and actual usefulness, but I think aesthetically, I'm a sucker for that curved display design. Now, last but certainly not least, the Samsung Galaxy S6 is going to ship with Android 5.0.2, which is the latest edition of the Android OS. And even though it's still going to run the TouchWiz UI, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I think having that material design influence TouchWiz is going to be certainly nice in terms of both the visual look and functionality. And even though it's going to carry over much of the things that you've seen previously with TouchWiz, I think having Android 5.0 is certainly going to be a big bonus, especially for people coming from an older generation phone. But on that, guys, that's really it. Make sure to leave your comments down below if you have any other opinions on why you think the new phone is better than the older phone. Love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. And if you're interested in hearing the counter argument of this video, I have another video discussing some of the points of why I think the S5 is kind of a phone that you should keep and not upgrade to the Samsung Galaxy S6. So if you're interested in that, if you're an existing S5 owner, you'd definitely be interested in that video. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you later. Take care.